few rain clouds lurking out in the Atlantic. We also have the full moon in effect with the effects out at sea. And also it's November, which marks the second peak in our wet season. Usually as you get into November, we tend to see a lot more of the rains than we do in October. But as you can see, past October, 270 millimeters, but we normally expect 243 in November. But this November may well be wetter than normal. Forecasts the Met Service. Obviously, we're watching out for the possibility of street or flash flooding with those waterlogged soils. And in fact, as you go through the weekend, there's a lot more moisture to come through, all courtesy of a trough. That trough will likely bring some heavier showers, especially down towards the south coast of Trinidad, and as up towards Tobago as well. There's a possibility of some of those heavier bursts. Now, some of this rainfall may also push further up the island chain, up to Barbados, maybe getting as far north as St. Lucia. But out towards the Atlantic, there are no systems here set to develop, obviously, but we will be watching it quite closely as we are in the last month of the hurricane season. But overall, the Eastern Caribbean, and particularly where we are, will be covered by the clouds, a lot of that high-level cloud as well streaming through. So even if you don't see any showers, there will still be lots of cloudiness around as you go through your morning. And obviously, as I said, the focus will be those heavier showers coming up from the southeast, pushing into Scarborough, out towards parts of Mason Hall as well. And obviously the possibility of street or flash flooding down towards Trinidad overnight. Look for the clouds along the south coast, Guaraguari, Moruga up to Point Fortin. Heavy at times here, also along the eastern coastline. But for the rest of us, we should be seeing cloudiness and spells of light rain. The light rain will continue into Saturday morning for many parts of Trinidad, through Blanchishes and the Toco. But once you get through the afternoon, you may begin to see some flecks of brightness coming through, but obviously there's still possibility of a shower turning heavy or thundery, favouring parts of Diego Martin, possibly down towards the south coast as well, as you go through not only the morning, but as you go through your afternoon. So overall, be mindful of the possibility of those gusty winds in those heavier downpours. Temperature-wise, looking at a pretty pleasant 32 likely in Trinidad, 30 in Tobago. Even through the weekend, we will not lose those rain clouds. They will continue through Sunday and Monday. Eventually, we could be seeing some brightness coming through on a Tuesday, but even then, there will still be a scattering of showers for the most part. And a reminder that as we are in the second peak of the wet season, obviously the grounds are still waterlogged. Now, if you're heading offshore, there's a full moon, and the effects will likely bring higher than normal high tides due to the springing of the tides. So watch out at 4 a.m. and at 4 p.m. for those higher than normal high tides. And also for those heading to the beaches, we're looking at 1 to 1.5 meters through the Caribbean, maybe stretching to 2 meters. But even in those sheltered areas, the seas could turn agitated due to the full moon. Now, of course, the Eastern Caribbean, I have been watching a lot of the clouds from that trough. That trough is pushing in from the southeast and then eventually pushing up to the northeast. A lot of cloudiness expected there. And also for the Greater Antilles, we'll just be seeing just the occasional clouds for Jamaica, 31 degrees Celsius there. A few clouds expected for Havana and a high of 29 and a humid 33 for Port-au-Prince with only a brief shower or two. But the sunshine will be there for those in the northern Leeward Islands, but we will pick up those clouds from that trough into Dominica, down to St. Lucia as well. But the thickest clouds will still be over Bridgetown in Barbados, out towards Kingstown as well as St. George's, with cloudy, damp conditions for the most part there. So it looks like it will be a wet weekend for Trinidad and Tobago, so be mindful of the possibility of street or flash flooding. So that's your weather, and that's it from me.